Hey, you're watching Bite Me with Nicole, and today I have a really simple but classic dip to make for parties or just to store in your fridge if you want to make a sandwich. It is delicious and it's really good for you. So it's called a tapenade because in French the capers were known as tapenas, and they're a big part of the dish because you're going to add a nice briny saltiness to it. So what we're going to need to start with is just about 350 grams of pitted Kalamata olives. And all you're going to do is add them to a blender or a mixer or a grinder or whatever you call it. And even if you don't have this, you can just chop it up really fine. Oops. Oh, I lost an olive, but that's fine. So 350 grams of olives. And try and get Kalamata olives because they are the best. And they add a really nice flavor to your tapenade. So you don't really want to add the brine, you just keep the brine back. Then you're going to add some capers, and this is about 8 to 10 capers and 1 clove of garlic, which is pretty much my only twist to the recipe. And some recipes do include garlic anyway. It just adds this savoriness that benefits the whole dish. Next we have my favorite ingredient, which is anchovies. I could put anchovies even in a curry and it would make everything taste better. Lots of people don't like anchovies, so if you are going to use anchovies for the tapenade, try not to tell your guests. And I don't think people would guess what it is, they would just enjoy it and you can tell them afterwards and blow their minds. So that's 2 anchovies. Then I'm going to add a handful of parsley, and this is just the leaves. It's a tiny handful to add a nice herbaceous flavor. Then just a tiny bit of lemon juice, so say about half a teaspoon because I don't want it to become too acidic. Then to finish and to make sure everything emulsifies and moves smoothly, I'm going to add about a tablespoon and a half of really good extra virgin olive oil. And we have really fancy olive oil in this house because I have a fancy husband who buys very expensive olive oil. So you can go up to 2 tablespoons if you like. And that's all you need to do for now. Next, you just put your cap on. So just try and give it a mix with your spatula first. Then you just set it. Make sure it's set properly. You can start on the first level. And you don't want it to pulse too much because you don't want it to become a very thin paste. So you just let it pulse for about, like that was less than a minute, a few seconds at most, okay? And this is the consistency you're looking for. It's pasty and it seems really smooth at this point, and it is. So to add a little texture, what I'm going to do next actually is just chop up the leftover 100 grams of Kalamata olives. So you do have some texture when you lay this on a piece of toast or bread, or you can even use it in chicken, by the way. Like just to cook a lovely piece of chicken breast, you can just add some of that. Also, remember that the olives have salt because they've been brined, and so do the capers. So before you add salt, make sure you check your actual tapenade and then decide how much salt you want to add. So that's pretty much up to taste. You can serve your tapenade with some cheese, some crisps, some lovely pieces of toasted brioche or focaccia, like I'm going to do in a little bit. Okay, once this is done, all I'm going to do is add this to the paste that's already made. If you're lucky, you won't make quite a mess like I've made and dropped all over my very nice table. So you can store this in the fridge and it would easily last for up to a week. And I don't even think it would take a week to actually finish it because it is delicious and you can have it for breakfast. with eggs or like a ham sandwich, it would be amazing. So yeah, you just add it all in. Then you give this a nice mix. And then most importantly, you have to taste it. I don't think this needs salt at all, but it could use some pepper and maybe a dash more olive oil. So just like, that's a whole 2 tablespoons of olive oil now. So you got to taste it as you go. And you can add about 3 peppercorns if you want a little bit of heat, which I do. And use fresh pepper, please, because there isn't much to hide behind in this dish. Yes, almost done. That's it, some lovely fresh pepper. Oh, it smells so good. Everything smells really good today because it's all wonderful aromatics. And even the garlic, you can't really get a big hit of it because it's just 1 clove with all of the olives. So next, we're just going to plate this up and remove some of this stuff out of the way. When I do this for parties, all I do is just like put it out in a big bowl and set up some crackers or crudites or anything else with it that people can dip into. It smells so good. And just to present it, you can just smooth it over. And don't worry too much. If it's a party, people are going to be drinking and they won't care about it the way it looks anyway. They'll just be happy to have a lovely home cooked dip. Well, not even cooked, home blended dip. Okay, so you can just set it that way. And you can just place some parsley on it. That's about it. About 5 minutes to make a dip that would easily serve 8 people, 8 greedy people. And now we just have some bread to try it out with. And this is just some plain bread. This is my favorite way to eat it. Just break some bread and you dip in. The best part is the anchovies just add this different level of umami to the whole dish. So everything is super savory and yummy and literally finger licking good. You cannot go wrong if you make this for a party. People are going to be very impressed. It's much better than the bottle ones, so definitely make it at home. I hope you try this recipe out and be sure to share this with friends. Definitely like it on our page and subscribe as well. Make sure it's set properly and you can start on like the first level. And it's not on.